Good evening, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for joining
Hello.
me.
Hello.
Evening.
This is Robert, and we have all the names on the screen, so I don't need to introduce anyone. That's fantastic, and nice to meet you all. You're all doing IELTS exam, and which makes you extremely fortunate. It's not really, it's not true. It's exam is an exam, but we're here just to practice a little bit today because you can never practice enough, right, when you're doing an exam, correct? So just quickly give a brief description of who you are, like not who you are like name, but you know what you do, and then we can start. So start, Claire, you start first.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Claire. I'm 24, and I'm currently studying at Campus Biomedico University, biomedical engineering. And I live in Rome, and this is the first time that I am studying for an English exam. So for me, it's a little bit difficult, but I will try to study. So
You better be on your game. Okay, next, Alessandra.
Hi, I'm Alessandra. I'm 23 years old and I'm currently studying international relation at Lewis University. And this is the first time I enjoy something like this. I never participate to a live.
Okay, how do you
So
know?
thank you.
How do you know you're going to enjoy it? It might be terrible experience. Say that at the end. Say that at the end. Okay,
Okay.
next.
So hello everybody, I'm Valerio, I'm 25 years old. I just finished my studies in the field of biology, and I'm willing to do the IELTS exams in order to find a job abroad.
Right. So everybody is at college doing masters, etc. Right. So you're all doing higher education, which
Yes.
which is something in common, right? So in the IELTS exam, as probably you well know, there are three parts, and you have to do all three parts. You can't just decide you don't want to do part one because you don't like it, or part three. So once you get to the IELTS exam, the examiner will be asking you questions, and I think the one thing to remember is that you don't choose the questions, but you choose the answers. So that's a big advantage. You can say what you want to say. Not exactly completely different. If he asks you, like, is there enough time for you to do activities, you can't say I don't know. Yeah. You have to say something. So you can say I don't know, or I'm not sure, when the difficult questions come along. So let's start. I'll just ask you questions, give you a quick feedback, give you a thumbs up, or say maybe you can improve a little bit. And so that way we can move along quickly. Okay, everybody gets a chance. How about that?
Okay.
And
Fine.
if I correct one person, then the other people can learn from that mistake. So it's everybody gets to speak like that. So let's start with Alessandra. Right. Let's talk about you, Alessandra. Do you have a lot of free time?
Yeah, currently I don't go to university, so I don't have to attend classes because we had these things called the white semester. It means that you can write your thesis, your final thesis, and also do things like some internship or stage, something like that. So right now I have a lot of time, free time.
Fantastic.
In fact, I'm doing this course, English course, and tomorrow I will start a French course.
You really don't know what to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I was to say something to you, Alessandra, is that speed it up a little bit. Increase the number of words coming out of your mouth, the rate of words coming out of your mouth. So if you can, just speak a little faster. I'm not saying fast, okay? Faster. So that means just a wee bit more, because it will give you fluency. it will give you a lot of like flow, which is always very good. Apart from that, it's good. Okay, so next to you, Valerio, where do you study?
I studied in Rome at the University La Sapienza, but in the course of the second year of the master degree, I've joined a double degree program, so I spent the second year abroad in France, in Paris, precisely.
Okay. Did you say you spend or you spent?
Probably I spent. I did a mistake. Probably I made the mistake. It was spend.
So I'm a bit confused. Are you going to spend or you have already?
No. I've spent the year.
Oh, okay. So yeah, good idea to use present perfect. I've spent a year in Paris.
Yeah.
Just make it very, very clear. Okay, make it absolutely clear because it wasn't. So I would just say make your sentences 100% clear. Next one. How long have you been a student? This is to Claire.
From 3 years old. So I have I've been in high school and then in university, but the first 3 years, so the little degree, the little graduation was in Sapienza University, and then the master degree at Campus Biomedico. But for student university is 5 years that I study in university, but before.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot there. Claire, again, if you can speed it up a little bit, and if you can speak a little faster, if you can, and like, how long have you been a student? The question was, how long have you been a student there? Actually, it would have been appropriate.
Okay.
I forgot one word, which was not very important, but extremely important in this context. No problem. Is your university, so say it to Claire again, is your university far from from where you live?
A little bit, but the major problem is the morning traffic. It is in the south of Rome, in a neighborhood called Trigoria. So it is not so far, but with the traffic of Rome, it is considered far.
Okay, so you could say the biggest problem, not the major problem.
The biggest problem.
The biggest problem is that it's far away and it's not well connected. That's the expression we use for places which are not far, but they're hard to get to because they're in a wrong place. For example, the buses don't get there, etc. Okay, next question to you, Alessandra. Why did you get into the field you're in?
It was a challenge for me because at first time I had an idea of what to do in the future, but I had to choose between law school or political science. So I choose political science because it's more the subjects are different. There are some subjects about law, human rights, and also social problem, we could say that. And so it's for the various type of the subjects.
Right. I'm not sure if I understand your answer completely, Alessandra. So perhaps you said a lot. Perhaps what you need to do is explain straight away what the reason is. Why did you go into it? You can say because I've always wanted to study political science, or I was a bit unsure. Oh yes, you did say something like that. I was sure about. You can say I was a bit unsure, but in the end, I went for, instead of saying choose, use the expression to go for. I went for the political science because it appealed to me, or it was a bit more interesting than what was on offer, or the subjects I had on offer weren't very appealing or weren't very exciting. So I decided to go for whatever. But anyway, good. So again, the mistakes that each one of you are making are good for all of you, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not really big mistakes. I wouldn't call them like howlers, huge mistake. They're the small things that need tweaking, and they can help everyone. Right. Next question is to Valerio. Am I right?
Yeah.
Your turn, right? Valerio, have you ever been involved in a work environment?
Yes, I had an experience in the past year when I was abroad in France. Indeed, I had to spend at least 6 months in a French laboratory. And it was a really nice experience indeed, since there was a huge international environment. It was a lab in the middle of the city, full of international students. And I was really strongly supported by my mentor, that was an Italian teacher living in France. So on balance, I would define it as a really nice experience.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to questions about food, which is always a very popular topic wherever you come from, you know. Right. How often do you eat out in cafes or restaurants and so on? I think that it's Claire's turn. Am I right, Claire?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
How often do you eat out in cafes and restaurants?
okay.
Ignoring this period that we're going through at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe once a week, especially during the weekend. So on Friday or Saturday, with my boyfriend or with my friends, and then after the dinner, for example, we usually going to pubs or nightclubs, and
Okay, too much information.
okay.
Okay, we usually go, not going.
We usually go, yeah.
Right. How do you choose where to go when you want to eat out, Alessandra?
I sometimes delegate this decision to others. So, but when it's my turn to choose, I see the reviews on, for example, the fork or something like that. Some app.
These apps are really useful, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so Valerio, are fast food restaurants a big thing in your country?
Well, I don't know, honestly, if people are still heavily going to fast food restaurant. I think that when I was a child, there were a lot of people going to McDonald's or related fast foods. But nowadays, I think that people are more into biological foods and healthy foods.
Right. Oh, it's boring, isn't it? All the healthy food stuff.
Yeah.
A burger with chips. I'm just joking. Yeah. Do you ever cook for yourself, Claire?
Do I have a cook?
Yeah. Do you ever cook for yourself?
Yes. Maybe on especially during weekend. I used to cook with my sister, for example, and I love practice cooking carbonara.
Right. Okay. Again, very good. Just say I not used to. I normally cook.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah, I know. And it's like one of those things that will take time
That
to
would
get
be
out.
wrong.
Yeah, it's one of those mistakes that you can tend to make because it's part of the. But anyway, you can say I normally make, or I usually,
Yeah,
or
usually.
from time to time. You know, you can say occasionally we cook at home. Right. Can you recommend? No, sorry. Let's leave that question. Would you recommend? That's to Alessandra. Would you recommend a restaurant that you think is really worthwhile going?
It's a tough question. I don't know. No, I can answer to this question.
So if you get a question like this, guys, in the exam, a clever way to get out of this situation, because you probably don't know, right? You don't know, or you don't want to say, or whatever the reason that is that you don't want to mention. Just simply say, look, there are too many restaurants which are good in my area. There are at least 5-6 restaurants that I could recommend. They're all very good, very cheap, and good. Just say something like that, which sounds better than, you know. It's the same thing if they talk about, would you recommend a city to visit in your country? You can say, well, there are too many. You know, you can go to Florence, Naples, etc. Okay. Is there a restaurant you've been to, Valerio, where you were utterly disappointed?
Well, let me think about it, since it's been a while from the last time I've been eating out. Yeah, I had not so good experience in the last January. I remember I went out for a lunch at the seaside, and it was like near Fregene, so on the north of Rome, so on the seaside near Rome. And I remember that the food was not so nice. I mean, the quality of the fish, that it's something important when eating out for a fish
Absolutely.
restaurant. So probably I would mention that experience.
What was the problem? Was it too pricey? The food, you said?
Well, not only too pricey, because if the quality is worth it, I would spend also some money for good fish, but the quality of the fish was the problem. So it was probably, I don't know.
Green around the gills, we say in English. Okay, great. That's fine. Let's move on to, we're going to give it a miss, part 2, yeah, because it's going to take too long. So let's go to part 3. Part 3, as you know, harder questions. They gradually get harder and harder. But again, you can decide what to say, right? So you're the one who, you don't have to say something if you don't want to. If you see the answer is too difficult because either it's just a difficult question, like, you know, why do you think young people don't get on with their parents? You know, so many reasons. Where do I start? You know, have you got an hour? So I can, it's forever. So be clever. Go always from broad to narrow. Yeah. So just talk in general, which helps you to get the flow going. Remember to keep speaking at a certain pace. Keep that pace up. Don't drop the pace, because if you drop the pace, the examiner's gonna penalize you for fluency, right? Because that is an important part. And in general life, if you are speaking to a crowd or speaking to a friend or speaking to someone else, if you're speaking quite fast, not very fast, but, you know, at a good speed, they're gonna like it. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I'm just saying, keep it at a decent pace, you know, average. Right. Is going to cinema more or less popular than it used to be? Claire?
Is it more? Sorry,
Yeah, absolutely. Is going to the cinema more or less popular than it used to be?
Okay. Maybe at this time going to the cinema is less popular than last year because of this COVID situation, which is all over the world. So people cannot cannot going to the cinema, but they also don't want to do that because maybe they are afraid to going out even with their friends or with their parents because of this situation. So maybe they prefer stay at home rather than going out to the cinema.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good idea. You did well to wrap up the answer, so that's the reason why. It's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, you're well done. What are the most popular types of films among your group of friends, Alessandra?
I think that maybe action films or comedy are the most kind. Sono persa. Okay.
Try again.
So they are the most seen films, and but depends on the mood of the group. So it could be sometimes a crime film or an action film. Depends.
Right. Just a piece of advice. You have film in the question, right? Try to use alternative words or just leave the word out. For example, what kind of films are most popular among your group of friends? You can say, well, we watch all sorts. We watch all kinds. So if you leave the word film out, it's perfectly fine because it's in the question. So you don't actually need to repeat it. It's called elision. In English, it happens all the time because it saves you from saying things again and again. The last movie, there you go. There's another way of saying film, right? The last movie we watched was on zombies or whatever, and we thoroughly enjoyed it, for example. So always remember to pair up two words. Right? One word alone is not happy. Put two words together, they're happy. So a bit like people. Okay, next question to you, Valerio. Do you think there is too much violence in films?
No, I don't. I don't think there is too much violence. I mean, violence is just an instrument of the director to express a message, and you can decide to watch a film whether is it violent or not. I mean, it's up to you. So I think that it's just a way to express the message of the film. I'm thinking about like Tarantino and its films. They are all characterized by an extreme violence, but they are also considered as Hollywood best films.
Right. So you're saying basically it's your choice, isn't it, in the end?
Yeah.
To watch it or not. So. Okay. So question for Claire. Should there be more films made for children, more cartoons, more animations?
No, I don't think that. I don't agree because there are too many movies of this kind. So, for example, now there are a lot of streaming platforms full of this kind of movie, like Disney Plus, but also Netflix. So I don't think that this can be a problem.
Right. Okay. And next question to you, Alessandra. Do films influence fashion, in your opinion?
No, I think it's the opposite. So the fashion influence the movie. The movie has to represent a reality. So it's like a virtual reality. So it catch all the aspects of the real life, and fashion is one of them. So I think it's the opposite.
It's the other way around. In English, we say it's the other way around.
Okay.
Not the opposite. So, right, it's the other way around. Okay, so this is the last question. Do you think media invade the privacy of film stars?
That's for me.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
an easier one for you.
No, not so much. Well, it's easy to answer. I mean, from a general point of view, I think it is quite clear that media are really invading the privacy of mostly famous people. Most of the famous people really struggle with finding sometimes for their own, and most of the times we are seeing media and like I don't know, papers, newspaper information about any kind of aspect of the private life of many film stars.
Right. Thank you. That's fine, Valerio. Now, the question, the session is finished. I believe. Do you? I believe that you guys are pretty much up to it. There's a few, like, grammar here, mistakes of words there, but they're not major, because remember, mistakes are terrible when they stop the communication, when they stop the the flow of the communication. So if they're not, you will not be losing marks for those little mistakes. For example, used to, or making it another. Those are not mistakes. I'm just telling you because I want you to get them right, but not because it's a serious mistake. A serious mistake can be the mistake of not saying things clearly enough, not saying them straight away, not answering the question straight away. Those are the mistakes that you need to avoid. So if the question is, do you think films play an important role in children's lives? You can say, absolutely, definitely, or I don't think so, or I'm not sure. So be very, upfront with your feelings. So how did it go? Did you guys, kind of enjoy it? You thought it was difficult? What's the deal?
No, it was really useful.
Yes.
I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that you should do it even more often.
Yeah, I can do as look. I was telling Claire and Alessandra that my camera broke down, so I'm streaming with my laptop at the moment. No, but it's good because I've got a good laptop. That's why you have to have a plan B, right, in life.
Yeah.
So if one thing doesn't work, you've got something else. So I'm okay for now, but I can do it once a week, no sweat. There is a stream with a girl. I really wish you watch it tomorrow. I really would like you to watch it. It's with the girl who got an A in proficiency exam.
Oh.
That is very difficult to get.
Like me.
Not. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? There is no. I think there is no limit to what one can achieve if you put your mind to it. And I'll be asking her how she did it. So perhaps there will be some. She's only 16, I believe, not very old. Yeah.
Okay.
She's only 16.
She's not completely Italian. She must.
No, she's 100% Italian. 100%.
So 16 years old, she did proficiency.
Yeah, and she's not the only one. There was a guy who did it with her and who got an A as well. But he's not on tomorrow, so I can't talk about him. Okay. This girl is very good. So join in or watch it later if you can. It won't be very long. Just wanted to pick her mind as to how she did it, because it's not only about teaching, it's also about learning. Yeah. How you learn makes a big difference, right? So watch that one. Nice. Sure. Thanks very much for joining in. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.